And I know recently you had a meeting where you outlined your goals for this upcoming year with the board. Can you tell us some of the highlights of what you are hoping to be able to achieve in this next year?
Well, my main focus is going to be leadership. And as we talked about, we have a lot of change in leadership positions. So obviously that's my number one overall goal, is to grow leadership. And then within leadership, I have 3 areas, which is to focus on teaching and learning. So, you know, a goal that I want to do is to make sure that teachers get the support they need in their classroom, to be very intentional with planning in the classroom, at the building level, at the central office level. I have a 30, 60, 90-day plan. I know exactly what I want to accomplish the first 30 days, the next 60, and the last 90 days. So intentional planning and support from this office. You know, just focusing in on teaching and learning for students, teaching and learning for adults, okay? My second focus area is high expectations, which is about accountability. It's about monitoring progress. I want to monitor student achievement progress throughout the year. I don't want it to be a one and done. I don't want it to be just about state test scores. How many kids are reading on grade level? How many kids are on the math level? If they're not, what can we do? If they're above the math level or if they're above the reading level, what can we do to continue to accelerate them, to look at children individually and their growth? So high expectations, monitoring. My third focus area is communication. One of my big areas is to brand the dream, believe, and achieve. Who can argue with a child or an adult that dreams and they believe and they achieve? That customer service piece, I've already mentioned that once before, the importance of providing what the customer needs. And who's our customer? Who's our audience? Who are we talking to? And what can we do to go above and beyond? Because that relationship piece is so important. So important. So those are my 3 big things. I think if we take care of those 3 focus areas, the results will come. The results will come.
Very good. And again, we're here for our Ask the Superintendent segment. I'm talking with Laura Schlosser, who is the Superintendent for Marion County Schools. And again, if you have questions, you can email us at info@channel6tv.com, and when we come in next month, I can ask those questions along. But one question that we did get actually yesterday, we're at a fiscal court meeting here in Marion County, and the newly formed Baseball Boosters Club was there at the fiscal court meeting asking for some funds in order to help maintain the field here for the baseball field. And a question that arose was, how are funds allocated for the different sports? Meaning there are some that aren't as revenue generating as some of the other ones. And they wanted to know if the school board kind of tell us a little bit about how some of those funds are allocated.
Well, what happens is, obviously, the Board of Education takes care of salaries. That's on our salary schedule, and we pay the coaches unless they've signed up to be a volunteer. So we take care of that part of it. We also allocate some money, not a lot of money, but we do allocate money for transportation across the board. That transportation money is then allocated to the high school. The athletic director works with the school council and the principal, and they allocate transportation money out to each one. Then, of course, we have gate sales with all of our sports. And when you say non-revenue sports, you know, baseball's not going to generate, and softball will not generate as much revenue as a football. I mean,
Right.
that's just the world we live in. Same way with basketball. All that money goes into an account, and then we work on a budget with what's needed, and the athletic director allocates money out per player, per need. Obviously, just the equipment alone in football requires more money than you would for baseball, but we allocate that out. We've got a formula that we use. Our uniforms, we pay for those, and it's on a rotation basis. You know, everybody doesn't get new uniforms every year, but we have it set up to where it rotates out so that, you know, maybe football, then basketball, then baseball, then soccer. So there's a rotation so that our uniforms stay nice. The equipment is safe, obviously. For example, football helmets have to be refurbished. We pay for those. And then we do have some fundraising that we do because you know, it's an expensive world we live in. Some things we do from the board, some things that come from the school, from the revenue that's brought in, and then obviously just some fundraising kinds of things and donations. What I have learned about the community of Marion County since I've been here, and this is going on my 9th year, very generous community. They support education, they support athletics and academics. For example, the track, the tennis courts, Mr. Boswell, you know, donated that money. Our physical court is always really good. They partnered with us with the concession stands and the restrooms at the baseball and softball field. You know, it was a partnership. So, and if you look at our facilities, I think they would be comparable in some cases to a college level. So, I mean, we just work together and we partner, try to make sure kids get what they need, regardless of what kind of sport, whether it's a revenue sport or a non-revenue sport. We want all kids to have a great experience, and we understand that creates leaders, and that's what we need in our community.
Great. Well, again, I've been talking with Delores Schlosser, who is the Marion County School Superintendent, for our Ask the Superintendent segment here on Central Kentucky Television. This has been Gary White for Central Kentucky Television.